Comparison is the thief of joy, Theodore Roosevelt. The painful habit of comparing yourself to others. It's so easy to dismiss it at first. A flick through your social media feed, a friend's highlight reel, a stranger's smiling, successful photo. You tell yourself, this is just inspiration, but deep down, something shifts. You start to measure, you weigh, you compare, and suddenly you feel smaller. This silent habit isn't just harmless daydreaming. Psychologists call it social comparison, a concept first described by Leon Festinger. He said that we don't just live in the world, we live among others, and we constantly evaluate ourselves against them. Comparison becomes a compass. If others are doing well, maybe you should be too. If they're better, maybe you're failing. But here's the catch. Comparison cuts both ways. There's something called upward comparison. When you measure yourself against people you see as better, more successful, happier, more capable. That can push you if used wisely. But it also carries a hidden danger. It can erode self-worth, making you feel like you'll never measure up. Then there's downward comparison. When you compare yourself with people you believe are worse off, that can make you feel better, temporarily. But relying too much on it, that's a trap too. It can build a fragile, inflated sense of self or even foster judgment and resentment. Modern life has fueled this habit. Social media doesn't just highlight achievements, it amplifies them and makes comparison constant. When your self-worth becomes anchored to how well you stack up, joy becomes fragile. You may win, but you rarely rest. You may grow, but you rarely feel at peace. Comparison doesn't just shape what you think you should do, it warps who you think you are. Why do we compare ourselves so much? Part of it comes from deep inside us. Our brains are hardwired for it. Back when humans lived in tribes, keeping track of who was stronger or more skilled wasn't vanity, it was survival. That instinct never left us. Leon Festinger's theory says that we use others to judge ourselves when objective benchmarks are missing. When you don't know where you stand, you look around. You compare to peers, to role models, to people you barely know, and you try to anchor your value to them. There's a constant tension in the comparison game, upward versus downward. Upward comparisons can feel motivating, but they can also bruise your self-esteem if the gap feels too wide. Downward comparisons might give you a self-esteem boost, but they can also make you feel superior or lazy. Beyond that, how much you compare isn't just about your environment, it's also about your personality. Experts call this comparison orientation. Some people naturally lean on others to evaluate themselves. If that's you, comparison isn't just a habit, it's a lens through which you view everything. The constantly connected world makes matters worse. With social media, comparison isn't occasional, it's relentless. And when your identity starts to tether to how well you match up, that's when comparison stops being a tool. It becomes a prison. If this is resonating with you, please like, subscribe, and leave a comment. Share one moment where comparison robbed you of joy, because opening up helps more than you think. Comparison isn't just an innocent mental habit. It has teeth. Over time, it can gnaw at your sense of worth, your peace, and your sense of self. When you compare upward to people more successful, more confident, more fulfilled, it can feel motivating, but it often triggers a harsh voice inside. Why not me? That voice doesn't just whisper, it echoes. And if your self-esteem is fragile, that echo is painful. Psychologists link this to feelings like envy, self-doubt, and even depression. At the same time, downward comparison isn't always a balm. While it can temporarily inflate your self-esteem, it can also make you complacent. Worse, it can feed into scorn or pity toward others, a subtle but damaging distortion of how we view ourselves relative to the world. What's more, Comparison distorts success. When your inner standard is always someone else, achievements feel borrowed, like you're living for someone's approval, not your own growth. Every win feels conditional, and it doesn't just affect your self-image. Comparison rewires your brain's reward system. Instead of celebrating your own milestones, you start linking joy to being better than someone else. Your dopamine hits don't come from growth, they come from outrunning others. The joy becomes transactional. You perform, you compare, and maybe you're rewarded. But the reward never feels quite enough. Comparison also erodes your relationships. You resent others' wins or don't celebrate them fully because you're busy measuring. You shrink back from vulnerability, wondering if you'll measure up. You may not even realize you're doing it because comparison hides behind your ambition, your motivation, your drive. When everything around you becomes a scoreboard, it's easy to forget what really matters, your own journey. To heal, you need to recognize when comparison is hurting you. Here are some red flags, patterns that show comparison has become toxic, not just a part of life. 1. Constant restlessness after scrolling. If social media leaves you drained, anxious, or hollow, that's not just FOMO, that's comparison-charged stress. 2. Your goals are shaped by others. You don't just want to succeed, you want to do what they're doing. You set targets not by what feels meaningful, but by what someone else has already achieved. 3. You replay others' success in your head. Even when things go well for you, your mind latches on to other people's wins. It's not joy, it's measurement. 4. You minimize your own wins. You accomplish something big, but you downplay it. You feel like celebrating it loud might mean you're bragging or that it's not good enough. 5. Self-worth equals performance. If you only feel worthy when you outperform others or only rest when you're on top, that's a dangerous place to be. Psychologists explain these patterns through frameworks like social comparison, cognitive distortion, when you habitually twist comparisons to make yourself feel smaller or shameful. Here's something you should remember. Comparison is natural, but when it becomes part of your identity, when your self-image depends more on others than on your own values, that's when it's harming you. Recognizing those signs is your first step out. Breaking out of the comparison trap doesn't mean erasing it. You don't need to stop comparing altogether, but you do need to change how and why you compare. 1. Define your own compass. Ask yourself, what matters to me? Not what your classmates, your followers, or your peers think you should care about. Get clear on your version of success, your own values, and what truly fulfills you. 2. Ask smarter questions when you compare. When you catch yourself comparing, hit pause. Ask, is this comparison lifting me up or dragging me down? Is this someone's highlight reel or a full story? Am I comparing to learn or comparing to feel bad about myself? 3. Practice self-compassion. Your brain is wired for comparison. That doesn't make you weak, makes you human. Talk to yourself like a friend. When the voice inside judges or minimizes you, respond with kindness. I see you. I hear you. You're doing your best. 4. Set boundaries around triggers. If social media is your comparison trigger, create guardrails. Limit time. Mute accounts that make you feel less than. Curate people who inspire instead of intimidate. 5. Celebrate your own wins deeply. Track your growth in your own way, not in relation to someone else, but in relation to you. No comparisons, just progress. where you're valued for you, not how you stack up. Thank you so much. God bless us all.